haven't decided.
Haven't decided.
What year?
Let's see, by the way, basic Chicago, Texas.
Check out. Those are things that I didn't know anybody, I didn't, but it's still just.
Over here to meet our speaker, Mr. Cunningham.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you're always taking it. I got some of the water for absolutely wonderful.
I have seen your name around now. Good.
Thank you all for being here tonight for the 17th Annual Denton Black Chamber of Commerce Banquet. My name is Tim Crouch, and I'll be the Master of Ceremonies tonight. I want to tell you that this is an honor for me. This is the third year that I've been asked back to be the MC, and I was telling Roy Culberson just a little bit ago, it's an honor to be asked once. It's an even bigger honor to be asked back. But it's also, I have to tell you, if I look a little distracted tonight, if you see me looking at my phone, the reason is that my son is playing in a tennis tournament. He's in the semifinals beginning at 7 o'clock tonight. Now, my son is in the semifinals of this tennis tournament because of this event. And that is that 3 years ago, Reggie Hill came up to me and he said, "I hear your son plays tennis." And I said, "He does." He said, "I'd like to hit with him some." And Reggie has been working with my son for the last 3 years and has helped to make him better as a tennis player, better as a person. And I give all the credit to this particular banquet because it was here that Reggie said, "Hey, let's get together and let's do that." But I want to tell you what Reggie said to me that I thought was really significant. That when he was growing up, he had people who mentored him in playing tennis and in life, and that he wanted to be able to offer the same kind of thing. And Reggie has done that for my son, and so it is indeed a great honor to be here tonight because great things happen when you come to the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. The next item on our agenda tonight is, if you'll notice, it says a greeting from Mayor Pro Tem Pete Camp. Well, he couldn't be here tonight, so she sent Kevin Roden, and she did say, just accept the fact that Kevin's not nearly as good looking as he is. Kevin?
It started with Mark Burroughs. He couldn't make it, the Mayor Pro Tem Pete Camp, and then myself. So we're digging deep into the roster tonight. But my name is Kevin Roden. I am on the City Council here in District 1. I also work here for the university. You know, as we went through the recession in the last several years, our economy hit a reset button. Everyone knew things are now different. One of the beautiful symptoms of that shift is the thinking that we are starting to see the emergence of a vibrant spirit of entrepreneurship in our country. And we are certainly seeing that right here in our city. No longer are college students thinking the same old thing. I'm going to get out of school, get a degree, and get a job with some great company. They're starting to realize, I need to do something for myself. I have to forge my own path. I need to create something great. That's entrepreneurship. And so our task as a city, and our task as chambers of commerce, and let me tell you, Denton is blessed to have 3 vibrant and robust chambers of commerce in the Chamber of Commerce, the Black Chamber of Commerce, and the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And we're most blessed in the fact that all 3 play very well together. Each doing their part to make our local and regional economy more vibrant and more sustainable. From the city side, we see 48,000 college students in our city each year, and many of them are stepping out now in this new economy and taking a risk to start their own business. I want them to see Denton as the place that equipped them. Denton as the place that inspired them. Denton as the place that gave them all the tools and all the resources they needed to be great. The beauty of entrepreneurship is that it's available for everyone. Rich or poor, white or black, formally educated or not, that if you have the drive, the creativity, the perseverance, the grit, you can succeed and you can do something great. So I think what we're seeing in this new economy now is something fantastic, not just for the city, not just for the state of Texas, but for our entire nation. It's the spirit of capitalism, people going out on their own, creating great things. And insofar as we're seeing that happen now, it's a wonderful thing. So we need the chambers of commerce to be about the task of equipping folks. And I am just glad to be here with the Black Chamber of Commerce. You know, I've never had the honor of getting up here and address y'all. I've been here several times, and my only model that I keep thinking about for a speech up here is John Banks. And so I kind of thought of this nice little ditty from Al Green, Let's Stay Together. But my wife instantly cut it, so you got what you got here tonight. But this is what the Black Chamber of Commerce is all about, the spirit of entrepreneurship. Let's be about that in the city of Denton, Texas, so thank you all. Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good start for tonight. At this time, I'd like to call on Reverend Christopher Respis for our invocation from the Antioch Christian Fellowship.
Shall we pray? Lord, we know that all things come from you. We thank you for these businessmen and businesswomen and leaders in this community who seize the opportunity to invest in your people, in this community, through the areas of commerce. We count it a blessing to come together to forge new relationships and build upon those that have already been forged. We ask that you would join us, your spirit would be in our midst. This will be an awesome time to celebrate what you're doing through the Black Chamber of Commerce. We do ask that you bless the food that will be provided, that it will strengthen our bodies, that all these leaders, these movers and shakers, can continue to do the great work that will bring prosperity financially, it will bring jobs and opportunity to this great city, this great county. In thy Son's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Dinner will be served, and during dinner I hope you'll enjoy the sounds of Cedric Divine, our entertainment tonight. Cheryl English.
I hope you're taking advantage of the silent auction items over there. We have Dallas Cowboy memorabilia. We have the Dallas Cowboy balls and shirts. This got signs in the locker room on Friday. So take advantage of that. We have a lot of raffles, good items, so I need to take those back home with me. I first want to acknowledge our elected officials that are in the room. We have State Representative Myra Crownover. We have Judge Joe Holland. We have Judge Margaret Barnes. We have our constable, Tim Birch, back over there. We have our Denton ISD School Board trustees, Charles Stafford, Dr. Jim Alexander, Dr. Glenda Harris, and our deputy superintendent, Dr. Robert Bosley. We also want to acknowledge our Collin County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for coming and spending the evening with us. And Anthony Coleman from the NCTA. Where are you? Did I miss anybody? Oh, I'm sorry. Paul Ruggiero, who is the current mayor. We'll see him again. He's also running for county judge. I'm sorry. Kevin Rhodes. How could I forget him? Our council person, Kevin Rhodes. I also want to acknowledge our Denton Police Chief, Lee Howe. I did get a text message from our sheriff, Will Travis, and he's not going to be able to make it tonight. He's with at a cheerleading competition with his daughter. Michael Burns. We have a representative here tonight on behalf of Eric Witt, on behalf of Michael Burns.
At this time, I'd like to call on Jim Wyatt from the State of Texas Association of African American Chambers of Commerce to bring us a word.
Good evening. Oh, you can do better than that. Good evening. You're not in a funeral celebration, correct? Oh, help me now. I don't want to stay up here long. You better, I'm like that Baptist preacher, you better say it here once in a while. To Tim, the MC, to Mr. Goree, Chairman of the Board and the Board of Directors of the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce, to all the clergy in the house, and to you, the elected officials, we bring you greetings from the Texas Association of African American Chambers of Commerce. The Texas Association of African American Chambers of Commerce is made up of 22 black chambers throughout the state of Texas. We come to Fort Lauderdale as Denton. We go all the way south through Waco, Austin, San Antonio, down to Corpus Christi. We go 4 east as Tyler, 4 west as Odessa, Amarillo, Abilene, and everything in between. So we have roughly 10,000 members in that affiliation, and our main focus is on advocacy, research, and education. We really strive to make African American business in the state of Texas be a part of this great economy that Rick Perry talks about all the time. And certainly we have individuals in this room that I will address in just a moment. But I want to make sure that you understand we are completing a research on black entrepreneurship in the state of Texas in collaboration with the University of Texas. We should conclude the analysis portion. We've done the survey. We should conclude the analysis portion of that by the time we finish April. And then we'll be trying to get a report out in order to provide a strategic plan for the state of Texas around African American business. Just a couple of points I want to make very quickly. As my colleague, Mr. Charles O'Neill would say, Texas is one of the fastest growing states in the nation. From my reading in the data that I have, there's about 1,400 people moving to Texas each day. And quite a few of those are African American and African American businesses. And with that said, we want to make sure that you recognize that in that, we're only second right now in African American population behind the state of Florida and New York. And as Charles would always say, by the time the census is taken, we're only 30,000 behind. We will be the #2 state, as Houston has taken over Atlanta as the blackest city in the nation. So as we look at things are evolving as the demographics in the state of Texas, and certainly we want to make sure that we do are there. One of the things that I always talk about is what does affiliation with the state do? Texas Association of African American Chamber of Commerce is the only black business league organization that spends time at the Capitol every week. We do advocacy for small business, regardless of ethnicity. If they're a small business, we're advocating on their behalf. We provide legislation. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. Most of the time, we're there making certain that the law and the policy doesn't negatively impact our businesses. Texas in 2012, by any spent $15 billion. Out of that, African American business was rewarded 1.63%. I'm going to repeat, $15 billion, 1.63. And as I tell the staff at the office, you don't have to do anything in order to accomplish 1.63%. You can just do nothing and get that amount. So what we do around the state of Texas, recently, we're going around in each part of the state, and we are recruiting African American businesses that want to do business with the public sector as well as the private sector. So I heard a lot of school boards, I heard a lot of hospital districts and other public entities that's in this local. I would challenge you to be participatory with these African American businesses in your locale in this demographic. There's no reason why that you cannot have a better result. I don't make any qualms about it. My mother would say, the rising tide lifted the whole ship. So what's good for African American business is good for Hispanic business. It's also good for Asian business, and it's always good for white business. It doesn't matter. If the economy is to grow and to maintain good employment in the state of Texas, we all will be a part of that opportunity. One of the things that I want to make sure that we understand that we must connect black businesses with these private sector businesses, and in addition, we must connect them to all the public sector businesses. I'm reminded, I saw the young people walking in, and I looked at the program and all the young college people here. And one of the things we're doing in our annual conference this year, we're having entrepreneurship competition. And for those at UNT that have not, and TWC that have not gotten the information, it will be on your desk shortly. And I know you watch Shark Tank. And so we have some investors that if you have an idea and you have it ready to go by June of this year, then you would have an opportunity to participate and get your business underwritten by some of the angel investors. So we are excited about that because we recognize that in order for the African American community to have great balance, you must be able to take and have an economic force. The story is that, and I think about the young people, and I tell this for all the places I go, this young man saw this rich guy, and he said, "Sir, I want to know how did you make it rich?" And he said, "Son, during my time it was hard times." And he said, "I was thinking one day and I bought an apple for a nickel. And I went home and I polished that apple, and I polished that apple, and I polished that apple, and I sold it for a dime. And the next day, I went back and I bought me 2 apples. And I polished those apples, and I polished those apples, and then I sold them for 20 cents. And the story goes on and on. And to expedite time, at the end of the story, the young man looked at him and said, "Sir, is that how you got rich?" And he said, "No, my wife's father died and I inherited $2 million.
Just a reminder, the silent auction will close at 8 o'clock, so you've got about 10 more minutes or so before the silent auction closes. At this time, I'd like to call on Charles O'Neill, the CEO of Strategic, to introduce the highlight of this evening, our keynote address.
And thank you for this opportunity to stand before you again. And for those of you who were here last year, know that I had the distinct pleasure of speaking with you last year. I'll start off by saying, one, thank you for your support of the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. It is critical. So thank you and keep on supporting, okay? Also, I'd add to, in addition to the introduction to our speaker, I'd like to extend greetings to you from the U.S. Black Chambers of Commerce. Jim White and I, he did not say that, but both Jim and I serve on the board of the U.S. Black Chamber. So on behalf of President Ron Busby and the rest of the board of the U.S. Black Chamber, thank you, Denton Black Chamber, for the phenomenal work that you do here in Texas. I should be honest with you. I just met William Michael Cunningham last July. Any of you all ever met a black economist before? Me? I thought it was pretty weird. But what I have found in the last 9 months, that Mr. Cunningham has the kind of brilliance that is unusual. How is that so, Charles? It's unusual because he did the prescribed thing. He went to Howard University and got an undergraduate degree, and followed that at the Booth School of Business at the University of Chicago, and a master's in economics. Clearly, with that kind of training, experience, background, he could have gone anywhere to practice his craft. He could be on law school. He could be a bureaucrat working for the federal government. He lives in Washington, D.C. But what William decided to do was to take that training and use it for the benefit of people who look like him. We brought it home, and we thank him for it. A phenomenal talent, extremely bright, a man who can make numbers dance. Actually, I saw him do something, for those of you who missed our conference last September in Austin, I saw him do something with numbers that I'd never seen before. He actually proved racism by using numbers. I had never seen anything like that before in my life. But he proved that there is a connection between public policy and what the numbers do. I think that you'll find his presentations tonight fascinating. I think that you'll want to hear more from him. One way that you can do that is to buy his book, The Jobs Act, Crowdfunding for Small Businesses and Startups. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you my friend, William Michael Cunningham.
All right, I'm going to mic up here. We good? In terms of the mic and the clicker. Sorry, we got the clicker going here. First thing, the staff. Let me thank the staff here. You guys, all the staff people. Where are the staff people? I see some of you all. All right. Well, thank you all for the job. And then I also want to highlight, well, where did they go? The high school kids who is it past their bedtime or something? All right, stand up wherever you guys are. Thank you all for coming out. What adult life looks like, okay? I mean, you're basically going to go to a lot of banquets and a lot of dinners, that sort of thing, so that you can meet people and network and learn about what's going on. So thank you all for coming in, and I hope you guys have a lot of it. All right, so I'm Bill Cunningham, as was mentioned. I'm going to use this clicker. I know some of you all can't see over here, so I'll walk through the numbers and all of that. I'm basically going to go over the economic situation in Denton, in Texas, and in the U.S. for black businesses, but also for the country as a whole. Before I do that, I am going to tell you a little bit about me. So this is the curriculum. Please do me a favor, two things. Try to turn your cell phones down. I know people have a lot of kids, you've got busy lives, that sort of thing. Secondly, take notes. Take notes. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I think you're going to want to reference later. So let me kind of go over the curriculum. So what we're going to talk about is the Denton economic environment, what to expect, what to do. We're going to talk about something called crowdfunding, which is open source finance. Open source financing. And then we're going to go through a couple of crowdfunding campaigns to give you an example of what crowdfunding is and how it works. Now, these comments are my own. They don't represent, I'm chief economist for the U.S. Black Chamber. So, but these comments are my own. They don't reflect the opinions of the U.S. Black Chamber at all. They're not good. All right, so this is me. Basically, as Charles mentioned, I studied economics at the University of Chicago. This is me with my thesis advisor. This guy's name is Gary Becker, and he won the Nobel Prize in 1992 in economics. I saw him at an IMF event in D.C., and he was kind enough to stand next to me and kind of take a picture with the book. You know, when I was there, and I'm in touch with him pretty much on a weekly basis, and I told him, you know, hey, listen, I'm going down to Denton, Texas, and I'm going to talk before a group of black businesses. What should I tell them about the economic environment? I'll key you in on that a little later on, but I just kind of wanted to show you that. Now, in terms of the Denton economy, these are the raw numbers. As you see, this is no surprise to you all, we're in an educational institution. Educational services are the big industry here. Retail, trade, healthcare, and social assistance, arts actually. Let's get down to manufacturing, other services, professional, scientific, and technical services. Total employment in Denton was about 61,640 in 2013. Now, if we skip forward, this is the forecast. We actually basically see the forecast as stated, right? Educational services at the top, healthcare moves up a little bit, retail falls down a little bit, manufacturing moves up also. These slides will be made available to you electronically as a PDF. The bottom line is that employment looks pretty good. Texas actually looks pretty good from an economic standpoint. Texas is different. Y'all are different. Right? First Texas guy I met was a guy named Matt Steppovich at Georgetown University. And you know how y'all Texans are, man. He had the biggest heart. And he always had the biggest opinion of Texas. It was the craziest thing. So what that translates into from an economic perspective is an entrepreneurial environment here that you don't find anywhere else. I won't say anywhere else, but it's rare. You don't find the same type of entrepreneurial environment in Texas that you find in other parts of the country. Now, that has nothing to do with government policy. Nothing. Don't buy this stuff from your current governor or whoever that says that I'm responsible. No, no. It's y'all. And I'm serious about that. It's you all who drive the economy in Texas and who drive that entrepreneurial spirit. So, and that shows up in the numbers. Now, this is the key chart. I know it's a little hard to read. I changed the fonts a little bit. But what you want to focus on are the differences. This is the difference in employment in Denton in 2013 versus 2016. What we're going to focus on are the blue bars that are above the zero line. So let's look at those. Construction. Now, the reason construction is increasing is because interest rates are low, inflation is low, and the housing market is recovering. Okay? So that's a no-brainer. Then finance and insurance, healthcare, social assistance. Obviously, the population is graying, it's getting older, that sort of thing. So that's a no-brainer also. Information is another industry that's going to grow in Denton. Manufacturing, that's a little surprising. I'm not sure what's going on. I'll be honest with you. As an economist, I saw that and I said, manufacturing? Denton? Anybody here know? I'm serious about this. Is there anybody here that have any kind of insight into, are there some manufacturing plants that, you know, have all this Apple Peterbilt. Peterbilt. See? See? Okay, so you know I'm not making this stuff up, all right? parts of the country, right? You're not seeing that at all. So that's a key asset that you have here that you don't have in other parts of the country. You combine that with your entrepreneurial spirit and good things can happen. And then, of course, real estate, housing market coming back. So employment in real estate is going to go up. Transportation and warehousing because of manufacturing Cuban, right? So it all syncs together. It all comes together, okay? But for you all and for the African American businesses in Denton, these numbers imply a strategy that you should use to solidify your positioning in this economy. And I'll talk about that a little later. But first, what's the money forecast for black folk? Okay, great, Bill, thank you for the numbers. All right, look, how is this going to affect my bottom line? That's what everybody wants to know. So let's take a look at this. Black population growth is still strong. This is a map that shows the percentage of black population in 2016 by state. Obviously, you're seeing strong growth in the Black Belt. Texas is growing. So all of New York, Michigan, Illinois, Michigan goes to Detroit. California, not so much. The interesting thing about this map is to note if some of the areas that you thought were going to have a strong black population do not. California being number 1. Nevada being number 2. Strong, not bad, but not as strong as you would have thought before I showed you the start. Now, let's take a look at Denton. The yellow area is Denton, all right? This is a map that shows black household income per capita, per person, in Denton, Texas, in 2013. It shows Denton, but it also shows the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I wanted to give you, place Denton in context. What it shows is that, not surprisingly, black household income per capita in Denton, from a regional perspective, is low. From a regional perspective, it's low. Now, can you all confirm these numbers? Does this look right to you all? Come on, work with me here, people. It syncs with your intuitive understanding of the economics of the region, right? If I put something up here that didn't sing, y'all would say, no, that doesn't look good. But this probably pretty much sings. What you have these wealthier areas in terms of blacks to the south of Denton. What is this? Irving, Texas? Okay. Okay. All right. So see, y'all know. Again, I'm not telling y'all anything that y'all don't know. All right? I'm just putting it in a certain kind, putting up pretty slides and pictures, stuff like that, placing it in context. So you intuitively know all of this stuff. That's important because at the end of this, I am going to suggest a strategy. And it's important for me to have the buy-in to that strategy. That's why I'm pointing out that you know this stuff. All right? You know this stuff. This makes sense intuitively. Now let's take a look at what happens in 2016. Houston, we have a problem. All right? Because a lot of those high-income black areas disappeared. All right? That's consistent with what I am seeing around the country. That's consistent with what I am seeing around the country. Why is that? Well, let's think about it. The housing crisis cost black families 54% of their wealth from 2006 to 2012. If you take a look at $1 of black wealth in 2006, by 2012 you had 46 cents left because of the foreclosure crisis. Now here's what happens from a macro perspective with respect to foreclosures, right? The housing market came back. White wealth fell by about 19%. It's already recovered back to the median. Why is it? Because white people were able to hold on to the homes. So the value of the home came back. But if your home has been foreclosed on, guess what? It's gone. It's gone. You don't have that asset anymore. You can't wait around for that asset to come back. This is also why some of the tactics, ethics, lack thereof, with respect to the foreclosure crisis are so important. And why it's important to look at the differential impact of those practices on different populations. We know that there was robo-signing, right? People who had houses foreclosed on them that they never should have had foreclosed. Because the banks did not hew to the legal processes that were in place. We know that. We know that happened. And that's what's showing up here. That's why you're seeing these declines. Now, the other thing that's showing up here is because the Texas economy is so strong, you are getting black population growth. All all right? As Charles mentioned, you're getting black population, and as Jimmy. So that's also part of what's going on. All right, now given that, here's what I think is going to happen with respect to total black household income in Denver. 2013, roughly about $73 million. Black household income, Denton, Texas. All right. By 2016, that goes up to about 87 and a half million. All right. So it's growing. It's growing. It's not growing by enough. I could put kind of the white household. I didn't, and I probably should have. To place this in context, I wanted to focus on the African American community so you can see, it's growing. It's not going by as much as it should, but it is going up. Part of what's driving this, as Jim pointed out on the car over here today, Jim, you said that, when I pointed out that it was a $14 million increase, but that it was not sufficient. You said, well, that's because of the demographics, right? Right. That's because the number of black households is growing, okay? So you're getting black households in, but they are at say that again? They don't have the income. Thank you. So that's part of what's going on. Looks good, but you have to dig beneath the numbers, all right, to really understand what's going on. All right, so what's the general environment? Let's skip to bullet points number 1 and 2. Unemployment, African American, 2013, 11% for African American men, and 5.5% for white men. And it's been very, very high. We've had this huge differential between black unemployment and white unemployment in Texas. In Texas, it's very pronounced. You've had that for the past 5 years, according to the Economic Policy Institute, okay, and others in D.C. who track this sort of thing. Well, number one, you have a hostile racial environment, generally, but especially with respect to employment. Now, I complimented you on being entrepreneurs. So how does that track to being entrepreneurs? Well, if you're an entrepreneur, you're doing your own thing, you're creating your own company, you don't have to hire anybody that you don't have to hire, that you don't want to hire, all right? You can get away with it easier. You can get away with racial discrimination in employment in an entrepreneurial environment than you can in a non-entrepreneurial environment. It's not to say you can't get away with it in a non-entrepreneurial environment. It's just as easier to do if you're in an entrepreneurial environment. So that's part of what you're seeing here. And the second thing is, you don't have the ability to correct it because we replaced Thurgood Marshall with, what's the guy's name on the screen? Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas, right? There's a joke about what percentage of the black vote did George W. Bush get in 2000? He got 100% of the black vote. Because the only black vote that mattered was Clarence Thomas. All right? He got 100% of that. So you don't have the ability to correct the situation. I see you laughing. I thought that was a pretty fun thing. But it's a DC thing, right? It's a DC thing. So you don't have the ability to correct. You don't have the ability to go to the EEOC or Department of Justice or others and correct that situation to the benefit of the society as a whole. I'm not suggesting a selfish strategy here or anything like that. If there's a problem, fix it. This is a problem that we ran into with respect to the housing crisis. Everybody knew, I knew, and a lot of other people knew that there was a problem with the lack of ethics at large financial institutions. They were greedy. They were just greedy. You know that story about that hedge fund manager who made $1 billion in 1 year? $1 billion. You walk in, January 1st, your boss gives you a check. You're the boss. You give yourself a check for $1 billion. That is crazy. That is unsustainable from an economic perspective. Did the guy do anything to create $1 billion of value? No. He traded pieces of paper electronically. That's all he did. All right? You shouldn't pay. University of Chicago economists, I believe in free markets. You shouldn't pay people that much for that. If he cured cancer, give him $2 billion. You have to do that. But so there's an aspect to this that speaks to the culture. It's a change that we need to make. So what should you do next? Focus on construction, healthcare, information, and real estate. Why? Because the past history history of African Americans in each of those fields, right? Black people have been involved in construction, engineering. My father was an architect, graduate from Howard University. So, and his specialty was black churches in Washington, D.C. in the 50s, 60s, 70s. You couldn't ask for a better market, right, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, okay, than black churches. So we have a history. 6 of my aunts, and my mother's family had, on my mother's side, they had 12 children. 6 of the girls were nurses, right? Black females and nurses back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. That was the profession that you went into from a professional perspective, right? It was one of the only ones that was open. So we have a history in healthcare, all right? And information and real estate information. How many people here know that the first version of the DISC operating system was written by a black man? DOS. Look it up. Google it. I'm not making this. Google it. All right? So we actually have a tradition in information technology that has been hidden, that we're not really cognizant of. So we have some skill in that area too, that I'm suggesting that we bring to bear. All right? And real estate. Well, why real estate? Because we need to replace the housing stock that was lost during the financial crisis. Everybody see how this syncs together? All right. So one of the things you need to do is you need to identify specific public sector opportunities and use social media to do so. If you see a construction project going up in your neighborhood, call somebody, text somebody. Hey, what is this? What is this? Who's putting this up? You know? And who are the construction companies that are doing it? I don't want to be, you're a citizen. You don't want to be nosy, but you just want to keep track of what's going on, and you want to use new information tools to lower the cost of doing something. Twitter, Facebook, you know, all of these things are tools that you can use. And then identify top performing construction companies or skilled crafts in that area and slot them into those projects that you've just identified, right? I know a great carpenter, you know, or a black company that's a carpenter company. Slot them into that project using social media. This is how you get this done quickly, fast, easy, and with high return, high social return. And make sure these firms get contracts, not just an opportunity at a contract. I can't tell you how many business fairs I've been to where nothing for any African American company came out of it. You know? So you need to track performance, and you can do so easily. Now, what else should you do now? Well, I'm talking to the African Americans in the room, but also our non-African American allies. Look, y'all can't depend on anybody else. It's y'all. It's us. Okay? We know that because of what happened post the financial crisis. Who were the first employees to be let go? First fired, last hired. All right? If you don't look out for the group, nobody else will. Good jobs with a path for blacks to the middle class are gone. You cannot get to the middle class through Starbucks or Walmart. You cannot. All right? 1 or 2 out of 100 people will. Sure. Sure they will. They'll have the same performance ratio as the NBA. All right? Well, you'll have 1 or 2 people that will make a huge, good middle class salaries. But the bulk of the people who come through those companies will not. So that's not sustainable, that's not smart, that's not strategic. What I'm suggesting is that we get strategic. Right? So you can't get there through Starbucks or Walmart. You just can't. I'm sorry. You can't get there through a security guard job either. And one of the reasons I'm speaking to this is because this is what I'm seeing in Washington, D.C. and in other cities. You know, there used to be a huge black middle class in Washington, D.C. Huge. All of those good government jobs gone. The only jobs that a lot of black people can get are as security guards. There's nothing wrong with that. I have a cousin who owns a security guard company, and he's doing very, very well. But he's the exception. He's 1 out of 1,000. Right? So that's where the economy is pushing you, but you must do business together. The African American companies. You must. You have to. You do not have a choice. Your economic survival depends upon it. All right? I'm telling you as an economist. Now, the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas is one big target, right? They're here, you know. And they have this thing called the Office of Women and Minority Inclusion. which is supposed to look out for opportunities for women, minority, and veteran companies. Okay? So, and I would look that up, that's one of the terms I would look up, OMWI, Office of Women and Minority Inclusion, OMWI, Google it, look it up, all right? There are 29 of these offices. And I would call this guy, Tyrone Golson, 214-922-6000. Call the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas and ask for Tyrone Golson, there's his number, all right? Ask him what the Office of Women and Minority Inclusion is doing to increase real contracting opportunities for women, minority, and veteran companies. He went to North Texas. He went to North Texas. Okay. See, I'm not making this stuff up. And tell him I told you to call. Now, here's what Becker said. I promised I would tell you what a Nobel Prize-winning economist said when I told him that I was coming down here to talk to you all and I was coming down here to talk to black companies. And I was concerned about the economic situation with respect to black companies. He said, be optimistic. He said, be optimistic. Discrimination against black people is much lower today than it was 50 years ago when he first started researching this. And when he first started, he won his Nobel for the economics of human behavior. His first big paper was something called The Economics of Discrimination. And again, this was my thesis advice, so I kind of followed his research, right? So this is what he's telling me. So you're getting, advice from a Nobel Prize-winning economist, to me, unfortunately, but you still have discrimination, of course, but you also have more opportunities to prove yourself, something that was missing years ago. So this makes me optimistic. If he's optimistic, I'm optimistic. Now, one reason to be optimistic is crowdfunding. Crowdfunding of the Jobs Act. The Jobs Act is a law that was signed by President Obama in April of 2012 that allows you to raise up to $1 million in equity capital 1 month. $1 million in equity capital 1 month. $1 million in equity capital 1 month. Okay. Now, the way it works is you go through crowdfunding platforms. All right? There are 3 types of crowdfunding currently. Donations, free money. Gifts or perks, which basically I give you a donation in exchange for something. And then equity, investments in which you trade part of the company to the people who are making the donations, right? Now, equity is listed in red because it's not fully available yet. Right? It's available for something called accredited investors, people with a lot of money. What the Jobs Act does is it makes it available for people who are non-accredited investors. People who do not have a lot of money. The SEC is currently considering the final rules to operationalize this. So those rules will be out in about a month or 2. So that's what I'm down here talking about. All right, now let's take a look at some crowdfunding campaigns. This is called the Pebble Watch. This is the most successful crowdfunding campaign ever. What this is a watch that sinks into your iPhone. And the guy who designed this was a watch guy. He used to work at BlackBerry. He went to BlackBerry and he said, hey, I have this idea for a watch that sinks into your BlackBerry. BlackBerry said, no, that's the dumbest thing we ever. Go back to the computer. He said, no, I'm not going to do that. Because I'm a watch guy, and I know there's a network of watch people, right? And I'm one of these networks, and I know. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to design this thing, I'm going to prototype it, I'm going to go out, I'm going to try to raise $100,000. So you see this thing, a pledge of $100,000 goal below the $10 million. What he did was he created a nice little video. He created a prototype of the watch, right? Then he created a video of him using the watch, riding his bike, doing a barbecue, changing the music on his iPad with the bar. Things don't know. Things don't know. $10 million in orders for this watch. $10 million from 68,929 people. Who basically, what you're doing basically is you're buying the watch, right? So you give me $100, I'll send you the watch when it's available. When and if. When and if it's available. Now the reason this worked is because this was a watch guy. These guys knew him. What happens with crowdfunding, the way crowdfunding works is it's all social media. Where's that social media marketing guy that I was talking to outside? He's probably outside the hall. The way it works is there are two steps, authentication and validation. Authentication is, I am who I say I am. I'm not some 15-year-old Russian kid sitting in the basement. I am who I say I am. Right. Validation is, I can do what I think I am trying to raise the money to do. So those are the two key points, and he had that. He had that. So people knew that he was who he said he was, and they knew, because he was a watch guy and had worked at BlackBerry, that he probably could, design and manufacture this watch. And it worked like a charm. It worked like an absolute charm. Raised $10 million from 16,929 people in about 60 days. Online. Through a website called, this is the other thing you should write down, Kickstarter. K-I-C-K Starter. Okay? The other big crowdfunding platform is called Indiegogo, which is as it is. Okay? So these are websites where you post product ideas like this, and you invite people in to participate in your product. All right? Give me $100, I'll send you the watch if and when it's ready. Here's another guy who did a crowdfunding campaign, Spike Lee, raised $1.4 million from 6,421 backers for his next movie. And he basically, you donate $10, I send you a t-shirt. You donate $20, I send you a t-shirt and a poster. You donate $50, I send you a DVD of the movie when it's available, a t-shirt and a poster. Now, one of the things that we're seeing with respect to creativity surrounding crowdfunding campaigns is people are using the attributes of the crowdfunding campaign in order to energize their followers. What do I mean? How many people have heard of Veronica Mars, the movie Veronica Mars, man? So they did a crowdfunding campaign to do a Veronica Mars movie, right? So one of the rewards was a walk-on role in the Veronica Mars movie. Okay? So you give me $10,000, and you can be in this movie. You don't have to be Screen Actor Guild or anything like that. I mean, you can be in this movie. And the role was, you walked up to somebody and you said, Veronica Mars is sitting there with her boyfriend, right? So your role is you walk in and say, here's your check. And then but they had one of those roles sold out first day. They had to have somebody do that thing anyway, right? Because it was in the movie. So they're using roles and assets. What's the term? They're using stuff that they have to do anyway and getting their fans energized to pay them to do this. Brilliant. Brilliant. Worked like a charm. They raised about $3 million. So in terms of kind of getting started, one of the things I recommend is that you have a fast internet connection. There is a free internet access point called Freedom Pop. So I would recommend that everybody go to freedompop.com, and order their free internet access. It's free. I mean, you pay like $5 for shipping or something like that. But up to a certain point, 500 megabytes per month, it's free. I use it so that if I'm in a place where I have slow internet access, like a Starbucks or something like that, I'll use this little internet access port to make sure that I have speedy internet access. It works very well. Now, in terms of crowdfunding, I'm not going to go through all of this because I talked a little bit about this. In terms of crowdfunding, you basically structured the crowdfunding campaign to appeal to your supporters. The first big crowdfunder was, of course, Barack Obama. And he raised $800 million for his presidential campaign. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Now, let's see here. All right. So for Denton, here's what I would suggest. I suggest you take $1 million of that $14 million growth in income that we talked about between 2013 and 2016 and devote it to crowdfunding black businesses in Denton. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to have the $1 million in the bank. Everybody here is going to donate $10 to a crowdfunding company doing something that they like, right? It's all free market based. It's all about your preferences. It's also all about the talent of the people who are doing these crowdfunding campaigns. If they can't excite you, like that guy did with that watch, then don't give them money. Right? That's when you, what happens is, this is a great way for determining pre-demand for products and services, right? So it's revealed preference, revealed demand. So this is something that then you might want to take a look at. You might want to take a look at saying, hey, look, we are going to, as a community, and let me say this about that, all right? So, you know, I came in today, y'all have a different type of community too. I mean, you really do. It might be because of the educational institutions here or something, but you're tighter-knit. You can move together faster and better than a lot of other communities, it seems to me, as an outsider coming in and looking. All right? So that makes this feasible. That means you can do this. All right? And again, $1 million over the course of from 2013 to 2016 is not much. But the impact on economic activity in your community will be huge. It turns out that a dollar that's circulated in a community has the potential, if it stays in that community, to generate a small economic growth. You have not seen that research come out yet because of the way in which dollars circulate in the economy. Thank you. This is why there's so many problems economically in the black community, because we do not hold on to our dollars come in our community, they go immediately out the door. Immediately. That's why there's a problem generating sustainable economic activity in African American communities, in the legitimate business communities in African American communities. So this is a way to start to do that and energize the community economically in ways that make sense. Now, this is a slide, and again, anybody who wants this can have this. This is from the book. It's basically 10 slides that you should have if you're looking to raise money through crowdfunding, through equity crowdfunding. So, information on you, a summary, who's working with you, what's the problem, what's the solution, marketing, sales, competition, milestones, and money. How much money do you need? So, I think this pretty much covers it. I mean, there's some other resources that you can look at. I've given you a couple of websites tonight that I would strongly encourage you to look at. The other one for the elected officials and the wannabe elected officials in the room that I would look at that sinks into the strategy that I've suggested tonight is this. This is the last website I'm going to lead you. Kickstarter.com/SeedChicago. Kickstarter.com/SeedChicago. The city of Chicago has a crowdfunding website. And what they do is they use it, so you're in Chicago, you've got a business or a social service entity in Chicago, and you want to raise money for a after-school computer program for low to moderate income youth. City of Chicago looks at it, they say, okay, where is she in Chicago? How long has she been in Chicago? They do the authentication and validation, okay? They do some of that authentication, and then they put you up on their website. And then it's up to you to go out to your network and say, hey, I'm on the City of Chicago official sponsored website, and please donate $1, $2, $10, $5, $20. Works like a charm. And the City of Chicago doesn't have to put up a dime for this, right? So far, they've raised about $1.5 million, you know. Doesn't sound like much. But it's $1.5 million in dollars going to community-focused projects that the City of Chicago does not have to come out of their pocket at all, to an energized community. So that's something to keep in mind. We're looking at doing those for, I'm obviously pretty enthralled by this. So I'm going around talking to a lot of cities about this. And there is great demand, there's great need, of course, for these types of resources. So it's something that I would encourage you all to consider. So again, I want to thank you all for your time. I hope this was helpful. I hope you took some notes. And I want to thank you for your hospitality for inviting me. Thank you.
Enjoyed Bill's presentation. We really did. The closest I came to economics when I was in school was homemaking, and I would eat. Really, very, very interested in it. It really helped me. Give me some ideas to use with it. We really thank you for coming. coming. Not only a handshake I want to give you, but also we want to give you a little token of our appreciation for the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce, to Mr. William Cunningham. Appreciate you. And I'm going to turn it back over to MC.
Again, thank you, Mr. Cunningham. What great information. At this time, I'd like to call on Reggie Hill for some sponsorship acknowledgments. And while Reggie is coming up, I have to report that in the semifinals, my son won 6-1, 6-4, plays in the finals tomorrow. Thank you, Reggie Hill.
Congratulations, Tim. Proud of your son win. That's really great. I'm really proud of him. All I gotta say is, let's get the sponsorship video. The sponsorship video is approaching. I mean, the sponsorship video is approaching. So let's get this thing started.
Hi, my name is John Baines. I'm one of the board members and an officer with the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce, an organization that's been here in Denton, Texas since 1995. I want to spend just a few minutes to talk with you about the goal of our organization, our mission, some of the things that we do, and how you can help us in our mission and our desire to make Denton a better place for all its citizens. In 1995, there was a decision made that there should be a Chamber of Commerce for African American businesses and for those who support African American owned businesses. To that end, we've had members that are large corporations, small businesses, and individuals who agree with that mission. Not all of them are African American, but feel that we need to make sure that all of our citizens are represented in the economy and that we do the best to raise up our community as a whole. For those of you who've been members over the years, we want to thank you and we look for your continued membership. One of the other things that we do is provide seminars in the community on a variety of topics. Women in business, borrowing money at the bank, affordable health care, understanding the healthcare issues, and making sure that both sides are presented. Our most recent seminar was a non-political discussion of the Health Care Act, where we're trying to find the opinions and the ideas and the interests and the information provided to both sides of the argument. It was a very, very well-received seminar, and people are looking for us to do more like that. On March the 1st, 2014, one of our banner events is our 17th annual banquet, which will be held here in Denton, Texas, at the University of North Texas campus. Our speaker will be Mr. William Cunningham, a noted economist here in the USA, who will talk about 2014-2015 economics. What can we expect and what can we do? We hope that you and your employees and your friends and your family will come out and support us at that time. During that banquet, we have influential people from around the community, around the county, around the state, and around the nation. It has grown to be an event that people look forward to, and where they realize that the dollars that are spent there are well spent. Another banner event that we have is in September of each year. In fact, it's the third weekend in September, and this will be our 16th annual Denton Blues Festival. We were looking for an event that could bring praise and bring more interest in our community at large. We wanted to build upon the diversity of our community and provide a product which would bring people to our city to spend the night, to spend their money, and hopefully have a really good time. And we have done that for the last 15 years, once again, on September the 20th and the 21st, 2014, will be our 16th annual Denton Blues Festival. Our crowds have been in the thousands, tens of thousands, in fact, and we would like to believe that the diversity in our crowd is unparalleled. The pristine parks that we have been blessed with here in the city of Denton provide the most excellent setting for a blues festival anywhere in the North Texas area. We have wonderful testimonials of high-level officials from around the state who come to our festival and seminar the youth and the children that also come and attend that festival. The thing we'd like for you to do is to continue to help us with our mission and helping us to fund our mission and helping us to fund scholarships, helping us with our seminars, helping us with your membership, sponsorship, and support dollars. I would say we're getting a reputation around the world. People are always emailing us and looking to be performers at our event. We'd like to think that Denton has come to be a place where people can bring their family, they can have fun, and they can bring their friends. Thank you again for supporting the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce and our events.
And again, let's give our video to the hard work of Ron Johnson and others. Around some folks. We have the major sponsors of $10,000 plus, funded in part by the City of Denton, Classic Motors, Chrysler Jeep Motors, by the sponsorship, the City of Denton Parks and Recreation, the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce, our Blues Brothers and Sisters sponsorship, between $1,000 to between $1,000 and $4,099 is the Chris and Sue Bancroft, Denton Area Teachers Credit Union, because they actually wrestle hard. GDAC, that's easier. The City of Denton Police, thank God for you guys, boy. The Texas Texas Commissions of Arts, and Bill Utter Ford, Denton Musical Electric, the Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital, JimAustinOnline.com, Budweiser, Denton Recycles, Sonic, and the University of North Texas, I mean the University of North Texas. Prudential Insurance, Best Value RV, Peterbilt, Access Bank, that's my bank, First State Bank, another great bank, Doctors Joseph and Sonoria Fletcher, and DRC, meaning Denton Record Company Media Company. Our Blues Friends, which is $500, between $500 and $999. Frenchie's Lawn Tree, that's my bank buddy down the street. The Orange Man. TW, Texas Women's University. The Holiday Inn Express, Miller Lights, NCTC, beautiful, beautiful community college. They have done great things. Dan Silverleaf Bar, and lastly, and not least, we got to thank all the auction sponsorship. Cheryl Lynch has done a very outstanding job in that. And the volunteers, y'all done a great job. Y'all continue doing a good job. I really appreciate that. You know, as a chamber president, it's just heartfelt with that. So you guys done great. I can't say no more. I want to give a little last plug here. Fremore Day Nursery School Incorporated. We have a basketball game. I'm part of this. I'm on the team. The Hall Ambassador team. You want to laugh. Watch me. I was just a tennis player. I was a lonely tennis player. And try to play golf. I can't do that very well. But yeah, if you want to watch us laugh after everything you watch little me right here. The game will be at the Monday, March 3rd, 2014, 6:30 p.m. at Denton Senior High School gym, which is my school, my high school. I'm in 77 graduate. And I hope you guys show up. Yeah, the ticket's only $10. If you want to see some laughter, spend the $10. You guys have
At this time, I'd like to call on Mark Quartz, who's going to give us a report on the Blues Festival and the Healthcare 102 and 103 seminars.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome again to the Denton Black Chamber 17th Annual Banquet. What I want to talk about is a couple of events that we have coming up this year. John alluded to them in our sponsor video. The first one, if anyone who's been here in Denton knows about, is our annual Blues Festival. So we're going to look at the screen for a short video of they're going to show the highlights of that. Denton Blues Festival will be taking place this September 20th and 21st, right here at Greater Town Park. We hope we will see you all there. And in addition to that, we're also going to be having our 2014 healthcare seminars, a non-political panel discussion. Healthcare 102 will take place in July. And this one will focus on implementing the affordable healthcare plan for employers with fewer than 50 employees. They will be navigating the exchange, evaluating options, insurance versus the penalty. A word from our experts, and this takes place in July. And then Healthcare 103 will take place in November 2014. And this one will focus on implementing the affordable healthcare plan for employers with 50 or more employees. And again, we'll be focused on navigating the exchange, evaluating options, insurance versus the penalty, a word from the experts, and we just would like everyone to know that the U.S. Constitution has 27 amendments. It is our belief that while the Affordable Health Care Act has been a point of great controversy, like our revered Constitution, amendments can and should be made to make it the very best it can be. And with that, we're going to look at one more short video, and this is from Healthcare 101.
These are Bill Trees from Blue Cross Blue Shield and Steve Law from the Hospital Council. Liz Benediction from Texas Women's University, Bob Garrison from Celtic Insurance Company, and Dr. Robert Swan from the Texas Health Presbyterian. So we thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this evening and for being here. And our sponsors, the University of North Texas is one of our sponsors, Dr. Herman Totten.
It really is a pleasure for me to be here. And if you can remember, just about 2 weeks ago, the university unveiled its 4 bold goals for one great university. And that 4th goal was community engagement. And I represent all of that goal. So I'm just delighted tonight to be here and to say that the university is here. We're here to connect with the community. When you think in terms of needs in any area, give the University of North Texas a call first.
Our panelists are Bill Trees from Blue Cross Blue Shield.
All right, and I want to thank you all for coming again tonight. And if you all have not joined the Black Chamber of Commerce, we do have membership applications in our booklet, and I hope everyone would consider filling one out and doing tonight. Here we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. You know, it wouldn't be a Denton Black Chamber of Commerce banquet if you didn't get a chance to sing. So John Baines, come on up here and let's lead us. And I just want to say one thing. I would be worried if you're playing as the Harlem Ambassadors against a team with John Baines on it, because he'll always know how to make the numbers work.
If you'll open your program, we have a little song in there that we wrote. Es muy difícil para conocer la manera para hablar en cargo esta noche. Pero cuando era un niño creciendo en la ciudad de Houston, yo tenía una principal que tenía una carga por los estudiantes para conocer las lenguas diferentes. Y yo estudié español durante mis años elementarios y escuela media, en colegio también. En Europa, yo vivía en Europa por 2 años y allá yo estudio mucho español y aquí en mi negocio cada día es posible para usar español. The short version is, when I was a kid, I had a principal that was a visionary. And she said all the children need to learn at least 2 languages. And I didn't learn German or Japanese because I thought I'd never make it there. So my friends and I, we all learned Spanish, and we kept it all the way through high school, and I lived in Europe for 2 years and I use it every day in my business. I read, write, and speak Spanish. And the reason I mention that is because I am very close to the Hispanic Chamber. I also served on the Big Chamber board for 6 years. And so when I wrote this song about the chamber, there are 3 chambers in my heart: the Big Chamber, the Hispanic Chamber, and the Black Chamber. And I borrowed Aretha Franklin's song. So, we ready? Give me 1 second. It'll turn. If you feel like humming a little bit, just go and jump in there. Here we go. We ready?
What you want, chamber's got it. What you need, your chamber's got it. All we're asking for your support to keep us strong. Hey, members, help keep us strong. Now listen, I ain't gonna do you wrong when you join. Ain't gonna do you wrong, we don't wanna support your chamber businesses all the day long. Hey, members, all the day long. Helping members, they make that money. That's all. Return, honey. Help us, help others when the day is done. Yay, members, when the day is done.
Now, I think some of the other chamber folks are supposed to be up here to sing with me, but I guess I'm the only one. So Cheryl likes to sing. Here we go. We're going to finish it up here.
Ooh, remember, making that money. Yes, what? Not that fun. That's what makes communities so strong. Yes, and we want to see strong. Support your chambers, you will see the impact on community. Support your chambers, you will see good things for you and me. All your chambers need support. They really need some help. Keep on trying. Get a little tired. I ain't lying. We need your support.
Now that's respect. Let me give a little precursor. How many candidates are there in the office, in the audience tonight? If you're a candidate, raise your hand. Here's what we're going to do in a few minutes. When we get to the candidates, I want you to think about what you're going to say. Like, for example, if I was running for office, I would say, my name is John Baines, I'm running for a higher office, I want to raise taxes, and I want all the kids to go to the military. Thank you very much. That would be my speech, okay? So when it's your turn to give your speech, you know, say who you are, what your office is, and give us a couple of things to remember you by. So we won't have a lot of time because we've got about 20 minutes. We want to try to get out of here in about another 15 minutes or so. And I think right now we have a little quickie announcement I'm supposed to make on, if everyone turn in their book to this beautiful blue page here, this is for people that spend money. Anybody in the house spend money? Okay. If there's a way to make a donation to the chamber, we have a nonprofit program that if you go on, at the very bottom, underneath all those smiling faces, it says www.shop.com/Denton Black Chamber. If you'll go to that website and you shop and buy your clothing or your groceries or things like that, they will send us a small donation to support the Denton Black Chamber. So it's one of those mediums that help you to do something. You're going to spend the money anyway. So it's just, they're going to give us a little bit for what we do. And I think now we want to have, Cheryl and I, we're going to talk about an award we're going to give and allow the candidates to present themselves. We were, I'll do the awards and then Cheryl will do the, oversee the candidates. We were given some scholarship funds by Fred and Lavisha Hill. And we've endowed that scholarship money. We want to basically take that and give it to 3 deserving organizations this year. We want to give $250 to NCTC. We're going to give $250 to the NAACP. We want to give $250 to the Denton African American Scholarship Fund. So we'll be giving $750 of money we received to those 3 deserving organizations. Thank you very much.
Okay, now you got the precursor. If I was closer in church, usually when they talk at a funeral, and if you talk past 2 minutes, the minister stands up, I'm going to give you the look. Seriously. But, like he said, 1 talking point, maybe 2. Say who you are loudly, because I got to be at church early in the morning. My pastor is right there. There will be no after parties. Okay, will all the candidates for office please stand? Okay, we're going to start with Karen.
I'm seeking to serve you as Denton County Criminal District Attorney. I'm interested in restoring justice-based prosecution and not conviction-based prosecution in Denton County.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Johnny Hammonds. I'm running for Constable of Precinct 1. My focus I would love to focus on civil process. Civil process is the number 1 most important thing the Constable's office does that will help keep you, the taxpayer, off the hook. Thank
you. I'm Reed King. I'm running for State Representative in House District 64. This talk on crowdfunding was a lot of what this is about. The solutions to most of our problems, all of our problems, are going to come from the bottom up, come from all of us, the ingenuity that we have here, not from a solution top down. We need to get government out of the way. The JOB Act allows us to raise $1 million. Why are we not allowed to raise what we want to from people in our community? Thank you.
I'm Jean Shockey. I am running for mayor of the city of Denton. I will work for economic development, promote Denton as attractive to business and industry, with strong neighborhoods, vibrant neighborhoods, and we will work to keep Denton the city.
I'm Margaret Barnes. I'm judge of the 367 District Court. I've been an attorney for 28 years, 14 on the bench, and 14 previously as a city attorney in the city of Louisville, along with Ron Newman. Board certified in family law, licensed practice in New York, and I would like to vote again in November. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm here substituting for Constable Jesse Flores. He is currently a constable here in Precinct 1, and he's looking for your support. He's been our constable since the middle of last year. He's done a lot of things to improve our office and make it a better office for the citizens of Precinct 1 and Denton County overall. Thank you.
Denton County judge. Because Denton County judge is not a judicial judge, it's the leader of Denton County, much like the mayor of Denton County. And I'm seeking to make Denton County a better place to live. And we can do that through building better jobs in this county, so we're not spending our quality of life on I-35 and other long commutes. And I could say more, but I've gotten that look from Cheryl before, and it makes me very uncomfortable.
My name is David Hyman. I'm running to be judge at the 367th District Court right here in Denton. If I'm fortunate enough to be elected your judge, I will work tirelessly to make sure everyone perceives the courts as being open and equally available to everyone. Thank you.
I'm Penny Lyons. I'm a registered nurse. I am running for State Representative, House District 64. I'm about 4 years younger than Reggie, so I'll look good. I'm running for education, I'm running for the environment, and I'm running on equality. I'm a mom of a special needs child, so I have a lot of vested interest in those three things and three things. Thank you.
My name is Toby Waddell. I'm a Denton County resident. I've lived here since 1976. I'm running for Denton County Criminal Court number 5. I do criminal defense work now. So I defend people, hold the government responsible, make sure that all the boxes are checked and T's are crossed and I's are dotted before your rights are taken away. And I'll make sure as the judge of the Denton County Criminal Court number 5 that the state still has to do those things. I will be fair, I will be reasonable, and I will be just. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Myra Crownover. I'm the state representative for District 64. I think during my years representing you, the thing I am most proud of is the bill that I passed that expanded newborn screening. It has saved over 500 babies in the state of Texas from death or retardation or physical disabilities. And one of those children lives right here in Denton, Texas. So sometimes government does things that does work for the people, and I'm very proud of that. Thank you.
Kerry Gorey, come up and give us some final words.
Once again, we want to thank everyone for coming out and spending their Saturday evening with us. I know time is getting late, and we promised to get you out of here a little bit after 9. So I'm going to do like Liz Taylor chose her last husband. I won't keep you long. At this time, you know, sometimes my job now is very easy. I get a chance to come up and thank everyone who's helped us. And that's easy to do, to say thanks. And this opportunity I want to do, first of all, I'd like to thank UNT. UNT has been one of our biggest partners and sponsors. I'd like to thank Dr. Jean Carroll. We've seen each other probably 3 times in the last 3 weeks. And I would say, let's not stop meeting like this. We really appreciate all that UNT does. They're a big partner of ours. And not only UNT, but their staff. They've just been, as Bill Cunningham said, they've been right on point since we came here today. And we appreciate them making our job a little easier. Mr. Cunningham, we really appreciate you coming in from DC and giving us a little intake and little growth on crowdfunding in the state of the country, 2014 and 2015. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. Jim White, who's coming in all the way from Austin. Mr. White he's the ears, he's the feet, he's the legs of the Texas State Black Chamber of Commerce. Mr. White is successful businessman of his own. He's put a little of that to the side, and he's moved all the way from Victoria, Texas, to Austin to do this job, which is a very demanding job. Every day he's at the the Capitol, trying to do things that some of the other chambers out here are not able to do, but we know we have a man there who can do the job for us. Charles O'Neill, which teacher, he's a consultant for the chamber. Charles is a graduate at UNT, and when Charles and I was walking up, I said, Charles, what was at this building? He said, Kerry, let me tell you. I said, don't say no more, Charles. You have to tell me what was at this building, what you did. He said, well, Kerry, I just want to say it was dust here. But it's okay to go from dust to industry. Yeah. And that's what we're seeing right now, industry in action. And the gym is the eyes, the legs, and the feet of the Black Chamber. Charles is the clothing. He walks in and he makes us look good. He takes that lead for us. We appreciate you also, Charles, coming in from Dallas. Charles lives in Dallas and he lives in Austin. He spends more time in Austin than he is in Dallas. Also, I'd like to thank the musician, Cedric Devine. About a month ago and said, Sheriff, could you drop what you're doing and do this? And he said, well, Kerry, you guys came out and recommended from a gentleman we've had in the past, and we really appreciate the job you've done, Cedric. Cedric does have tapes. I said I'll put that plug in, CDs, if you want a person to want his tape. He's a renowned artist, Buddhism, Cedric, DEntertainment.com. He plays background for people like Mary, so he's just not a fly-by-night entertainer. Thank you again, Cedric.
Thank you.
Also, I'd like to thank the banquet committee and the banquet volunteers. They really did a big job, and we really appreciate those individuals. If you're any of you here, stand, wave your hand, do what you feel like doing. I know your legs are tired, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, I'd like to thank the board, the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce board, my board. I call them my board because they're the guys who make me look good. They're the guys who do the work, and I'm the guys who up here can take the bow and get a lot of recognition that I don't deserve, but it's them who do the work. And those board members, would you please stand? The board members of the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. We have a very small board, but believe it or not, this small board we have Reggie Hill, which is our president. Now, Reggie is our workhorse. Reggie don't like to work. He's our workhorse. You see him at the car wash, you see him working, but we found things for Reggie to do. Reggie, could you go do this? Could you get this? Could you talk to a person for an hour? You don't have to say anything, just talk to him. Reggie, could you pick this up? We give Reggie work that Reggie don't realize it's hard work. It's fun to Reggie, so Reggie's our workhorse. We have Mark Court. Mark, will you stand again? Mark is one of our board members, a new board member. Mark is our graphic man. He's our design man. He's the one that put the pencil to the paper and make me look smart. Thank you, Ron. Ron is one of our new board members. Mark Court. Ron Johnson in the back, who's doing the demo, who's responsible for a lot of demos. Ron Johnson, he's the resolution judge. In our board meetings, we do have a lot of disputes, so we need a guy like Ron. He's been very helpful with us during his time here. He's our secretary. He's been with us a couple of years. And Robert Hicks, he's one of our board members. Robert's always on the go. He's our marketing man. He's out there. You all may know Robert Hicks. He's not here with us today, but we appreciate everything he does as well. Also, I'd like to appreciate and say thank you to the wives of the board members. It's those ladies that have helped us to be able to do our job, who've allowed us to come home late at night, and it wasn't where we used to come home from late at night. It's coming home doing something meaningful. And it's not the ladies who've come a long way, it's us guys who've come a long way, and we'd like to thank them. And my wife, Beverly Gorey, thank you all, and Ms. Rochelle Cummings, the wife of Mr. Ron Johnson. Thank you, ladies, for all you do. I said, Miss Tracy, you I asked my wife tonight, I said, honey, that's what I call her. I said, honey, what should I ask them? What should I talk to the people about tonight? She said, well, baby, that's what she called me. She said, baby, just don't tell them what you tell me. I'm going to get right to them. But don't tell them that you promise you're going to do it later. And I said, okay, honey, I promise that I won't do anything or say anything that I can't keep. So, thank you, ladies. Thank you. Thank you all of you all out there for really being behind us. As I say, I know time is in essence. This year, the theme, though, the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce is we're going to emphasize on growth. Sometimes growth can be successful, and sometimes growth can be a failure. We realize that growth is not just a mere chance. We realize that growth is forces working together to make things happen. And among those forces are the forces in this room, the forces, the city of Denton, police department, UNT, DME, that too, NCTC, and you, the community. You are the forces that come together that allow us to do the things we do, that allow us to put on events that we're doing tonight. Thank you for helping us become a meaningful force. I realized a couple of things in growth that you should really realize and keep in front of you, and that's establishing and maintaining integrity. We realize integrity doesn't start at the top, but it does start at the top, and it works itself to the bottom. And that's one thing that is a promise, that we promise we will always keep integrity in front of you all, so you can make sure the things we are doing are with what your programs are about. We also want to make sure we're communicating our vision with you and our values. We realize that our vision lets you know where we're going and how we plan on getting there, and our values let you know and define the methods of how we want to get there and how we plan on getting there. We realize that growth is not always easy. We realize that sometimes you have to crawl before you have to walk. And we realize sometimes once you start walking, you still wish you would continue to crawl, because sometimes it seems better. And sometimes we realize that as we get older, we're a 19-year organization. As John said, we started 19 years ago. We started at a barbershop 19 years ago. A few of us on the board don't need barbers anymore. But that's where we started, in the barbershop 19 years ago. We wish we were being like you, that we could have faced all our problems when we were 17, 18, and 19. We with this organization was like a 17, 18, and 19-year-old youth. That's when you realize you know everything. So we realized that we're going to have to grow as an organization. And we're going to do things like I heard Socrates say one time. I didn't hear him say it, I read it. One thing I know is that I don't know. And we're going to go through the next year focusing on the things we know and examining the things we don't know. And doing those things, we're going to make sure when we're dealing with our sponsors, when we're dealing with our members, if we're not fulfilling your return on investment, let us know, and we will listen. Also, we're going to make sure that if we're not producing through our mentoring program, education, and putting out intelligent youth to build a better city, a better Denton, let us know. We will listen. Tonight we have two of our mentors for last year, University of North Texas grad, Chris and Vince Jackson. Guys, stand up, let me see you. And you're not sitting down. These young men graduated last year, a mentoring program. They really were a big part of us. And this year, they're their own table sponsor. Thank you, Chris and Vince Jackson. They're down in Houston, and they're doing a wonderful job. And if our seminars and our events are not meaningful, and when they stop being meaningful, let us know, and we would listen, and we would act upon those. And in closing, I want you to realize that communication is going to be the biggest part of our growth. How we communicate. And that leads me to tell you a story about communicating. That's the story. John is our resident singer. I'm a resident storyteller. There was a gentleman, and he's a lawyer. And a lady came to him for divorce. And she said, I want to divorce my husband. And the lawyer said, do you have any grounds? She said, yes, I have a couple acres on the west side of town. He said, well, do you have a grudge? She said, I have a 2-car porch. And he said, does she beat you up? She said, I get up a half hour early than him every day. And I said, why do you want to have a divorce? We just cannot communicate. So in closing, I want to say, be who you are. Say what you feel. Because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Thank you.
Once again for being here tonight. Pastor Respis, if you will deliver the benediction, I just have one request. My son plays at 9:15. Can you pray for the weather to hold?
Let's pray. Lord, thank you so much for what we've seen, what we've heard, what we've learned tonight. Lord, please hold the weather so Brother Couch's son can play. Let him be victorious. God, keep us safe as we travel to our next destination. In thy son's name we pray. Amen. Amen.